$2.5 million on the table to fund ShotSpotter. In the interim, until a replacement, listen to that, until a replacement can be implemented. My name is David Moore, and I'm alderman of the 17th Ward. I'm here with my colleagues, Alderman Peter Chico of the 10th Ward, and Alderman Stephanie Coleman of the 16th Ward, and unfortunately Anthony Beal and Alderman Monique Scott, who wanted to be here with us today, had some emergencies and could not make it. So I want to thank them for their support in this effort, as well as others. Also today we have with me a leader in the Auburn Gresham community, my friend, my brother, I call him the Bishop, Reverend Michael Flager. We also have Eric Smith of BMO Harris and co-chair of the Public Safety Task Force at the Civic Committee. Also, former Education Secretary and founder of CRED, Arnie Duncan. And also we have with us Anthony Bilal, founder and director of the Restorative Project. We're here today because people are dying in neighborhoods that were once served by ShotSpotter. Last week, 19-year-old Sierra Evans lay in the alley from gunshot wounds for 9.5 hours before someone called 911. Last Tuesday, a 14-year-old boy died in the street. He lay there for an hour before anyone called 911. And in my ward, a shooting Saturday night on the 7900 block of Ashland Avenue that occurred around 10:58 p.m., ShotSpotter detected a series of shots totaling over 20 rounds, all at 9:56 p.m., a full hour before CPD reported it. If ShotSpotter had been alerting first responders, they would have been notified of the precise location of the shooting event within 60 seconds. Let me say that again, within 60 seconds. We don't understand why the administration is willing to have such carnage on their conscience. In fact, while the administration has threatened to veto this ordinance, when particularly the mayor has threatened to veto the calls for ShotSpotter extension, our city council has the votes to override any alleged veto. Let me say that again. While Mayor Johnson has threatened to veto the ordinance that calls for a ShotSpotter extension, our city council has the votes to override this alleged veto. Due to its ability to save lives, the majority of the city council and the public overwhelmingly, this is the people that we serve, overwhelmingly support gunshot detection technology like ShotSpotter because it speeds up times and increases the likelihood that gunshot victims will survive. In fact, the crime lab at the University of Chicago estimates that 85 lives have been saved because first responders are arriving sooner and getting victims the medical help they need. Last week, Selwyn Rogers, this was important, you all, a trauma surgeon at the University of Chicago, took to the pages of the Sun-Times to make a point that if we want to save more lives, every second counts. And he asked for us to reinstate ShotSpotter. The only thing that's standing in the way is this administration. We would not back down on this issue. My colleagues and our supporters here, and I have asked the business community for help, and they have offered to step up and pay for assistance. I invite our chairman of the Black Caucus, Alderman Stephanie Coleman, to speak on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Moore. I am Alderman Stephanie Coleman of the 16th Ward and chair of the Chicago Aldermanic Black Caucus. And as Alderman Moore has stated, we are both saddened and disappointed of where we are at in terms of any sound detecting system that could help alert CPD to save lives in communities like Inglewood, Auburn Gresham, far southeast side, North Lawndale, south and west sides, which impacts Black and brown people. But I'm here to announce that thanks to our business community, we have secured $2.5 million to assist us as a city in our efforts of, while we're in this period of an RFI, but to assist the city in responding and helping the Chicago Police Department respond. As it was stated, every second counts. But we need a system now to help respond to devastations that happen in the city of Chicago, specifically the 7th District, the 11th District, the 15th Districts, those districts and communities that are most impacted. I want to thank our business community. I want to thank my colleagues, including Alderman David Moore, Alderman Yancey, Alderman Peter Chico, as we have reached out to our business community.
Thank you, Chairman. Now I would like for you to hear from Eric Smith of BMO Harris. He co-chairs the Public Safety Task Force at the Civic Committee. They've put, as Chairman Coleman said, they've put $2.5 million on the table to fund ShotSpotter in the interim until a replacement, listen to that, until a replacement can be implemented. We are grateful for the offer. Mr. Eric Smith.
Thank you, Alderman Moore, Alderman Coleman, and Alderman Chico for your leadership. On behalf of the Civic Committee Public Safety Task Force, we are committed to combating the crisis of crime here in Chicago, and we will do our part to ensure that we raise private dollars in securing $2.5 million so that we can take the cost of this issue off the table and recognize that we cannot put a price tag on saving innocent lives. We believe that it will be important for us to provide the tools and resources available for law enforcement and the experts that have shared with us that ShotSpotter saves lives, and we believe it is fundamental for us to ensure that we provide the very best safety and resources for the city of Chicago. We look forward to working with each and every stakeholder as part of this effort as we manage through the transition, and rest assured that the business community will do its part to fight crime here in Chicago. Thank you, Alderman Moore.
Thank you so much, and we're grateful for the Civic Committee for doing that. Next, unfortunately, who couldn't be here, but Anthony Driver, President of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. He was en route and got stuck. He wanted me to relieve these remarks. I have felt the toll of gun violence personally, and I do not want to see another victim lay alone in the street while they wait for help when no one is coming. That is from Anthony Driver, President of the Community Commission. I am honored right now to bring on a leader in the Auburn Gresham community, but a leader in this city and in this country, someone who has been the voice of gun violence throughout the many decades. I want you all to please receive who I call Bishop, Reverend Father Michael Flager.
Thank you, Alderman Moore. Three quick things. Number one is, I believe that making the decision about ShotSpotter should not belong to the mayor, the city council, or even the citizens. The police superintendent who's been appointed to look over violence for this city, he alone should be making the decision about ShotSpotter. If it's something that helps him, then keep it until we get something else. If it's not, he says we don't need it, then get rid of it. But the police superintendent should be the only one making this decision. Number two, until we build the relationship back between community and law enforcement, where people feel free giving information, we need every technology we can to help know where shots are being fired at and where bodies may be laying on the ground in need of emergency care. Third and finally, there's a problem we have with, and I'm one of those that encourage people all the time, call 911, call 911 if you get shots. I've been one of those people who have called myself, and when they say to you, well, where did the shot happen? And I say, I think it was north of me. The last time I did that, it was 4 blocks south of me, because the shots reverberate in the buildings all over. I was then told by the operator, well, that doesn't really help us if you cannot tell me exactly where it is. So unless it happens right in front of your house or your business, you don't really know where the bullet came from. And so many people are discouraged from calling in because they can't tell you exactly where it happened. Until we have something better, let's put something in place that can save lives and that can alert police when they're not being told by anybody else where something took place.
Thank you so much. Also joining us is my colleague just to the south of me, and a Simeon Wolverine, but my brother, Alderman Ronnie Mosley. We plead with this administration to do this right thing for the people and make this city as safe as it can be, because we don't want to stop until the right thing is done, and we will not stop until the right thing is done. And so I thank you all. We thank the Civic Committee for stepping up, and we always asking the business community to step up, and we thank them for stepping up to offer $2.5 million toward this effort to keep ShotSpotter in place until this administration has something to replace it, or until we, fully go out, with any type of RFP or anything, which is going to take at least a year to a year and a half. And so thank them so much, because we need something in place right now. And I want to thank all of my colleagues and everyone else who joined us here today, the voices of the community, and who are listening to the people, as well as who is listening to the superintendent, to make sure that we have something in place to help save lives. So I thank you all. If you all have any questions, we'll take any questions that you may have. Understand that the city has the authority both to pass an ordinance, to authorize a contract, and to fund it. All the mayor has the authority to do, and that he may not do even when we do this, which will be a slap in the face to the community, is tell his procurement officer to procure it. So we have that authority, but he has the authority to say procure it or not procure it. What would we have done? We've funded police positions. We've funded different programs. Have all of them been procured yet? That's in the budget. All of them have not been procured yet, because only the mayor has the authority to tell them to procure it. But by ordinance, you have to adhere to the ordinance. And then when those ordinances are not adhered to, you can go to a court, and then a court is going to approve it based on, or agree with it based on the fact that the city council passed an ordinance. No, we already introduced the ordinance. He has it. Is whether and that's for the superintendent to work in conjunction with the corporation council to extend ShotSpotter. And so that order passed. That order has passed. And that new money will help fund that technology. Absolutely. You know what? This is the focal point of this conversation today. I fought and have gotten other monies for investments in our communities, okay? And we're going to continue to do that. And I agree with you. I'm not fighting for that. I mean, I got to get Ogden Park done, right? And right now, we're going out to businesses, and I'm sitting with Sierra Boatwright. I'm sitting with the superintendent of the park district, where we're going to these private companies, including sports teams, to say, hey, help put up money for Ogden Park. So your point is well taken. And yes, they should be doing, it's not an either or, it's both and. I may not do no off-topic stuff, but we'll go ahead and do on-topic. I can't hear you. The how what? I can't take any school board questions. I'm not prepared to take those today, and I don't think any of my... I don't think anybody have any comments on it. We want to stay on point here. I I thank you for saying that, because if you came to the last meeting and we have this thing that say when you put junk in, you get junk out. And so at the end of the day, when the Inspector General, who I totally respect, and I want her always to be there because she's one of the most, to me, honest person that we have in this administration. She was dealing with data that was incorrectly collected, and that's what she reported on. If you saw the University of Chicago, who is an independent board here, or not a board, but an independent entity here, who did their data collection, and they were looking for a reason, hey, not to keep it really, came up with the fact that it does help save lives. But here's the crime. Here's the thing about crime. This is what the data don't capture. But this is what David Moore, Alderman Stephanie Coleman, and Alderman Chico, and Alderman Ronnie Mosley live. When a shooting takes place, ShotSpotter detects it. It gets there quick, whether somebody is shot or not, right? But once they know a shooting is going on, and they then talk to people as well, they find out that there may be some gang activity going on. Not only do they put people there, they say, hey, these guys may come back and retaliate. Let's put something over here. So they spread those resources out where they need them. Guess what never happens? Another shooting. You don't get that in your data. You don't get that in there. But that's what we live every day, because we see it. And when we're talking about shootings and murders being down, I'm not saying it's all because of ShotSpotter, but it's a part of it. ShotSpotter isn't the be-all to end-all tool. It's a tool that our superintendent said he needs and we need in our community. No, it wasn't, and that's what we're talking about. So let me put this in factual for you all, because I can't play politics. Y'all know I keep it real. Because somebody makes a campaign promise, and the campaign promise was based on Adam Toledo's situation and all the stuff that rose up out of there. And I'm going to answer your second part of your question in that, in which the shot detection system did what it was supposed to do. Somebody was shooting at innocent cars going by. The shot detection system caught it. It went right to the place where it was shooting, okay? Unfortunately, and my heart breaks for anybody, whether they're doing good or bad, that gets killed. Unfortunately, a clean shoot from a police officer caused outrage for people then want to blame it on ShotSpotter, okay? Which says it's targeting black and brown people. I'm a young black boy by way of Robert Taylor Home, Inglewood community. I've been there. I lived it. What ShotSpotter does that 911 doesn't do, as Reverend Flager said, when he said it was north of me. Now, when they go north, they see David walking down the street. I may have on my hoodie. They pulling me over. That's what over-policing is. But when it goes straight to the place, they don't have time to go pull just different people over because they know where it's at. That's where you get your over-policing from, when you don't have ShotSpotter, when they're trying to guess it. And so, therefore, he kept his campaign promise, saying, I'm going to get rid of ShotSpotter, which is the company. So it's like whether you got Xerox, right? You say, hey, I'm going to get rid of the Xerox machine, but you bring in Canon. We still Xeroxing, y'all. And so at the end of the day, he's going to say, I kept my ShotSpotter, but what he didn't do, and they didn't do their homework, let's be honest here, they thought they can use that money, that $10 million or the estimated cost of ShotSpotter annually, to put towards some of his other programs. That money, which is an extra tax on our phone bills, has to stay in what? Public safety technology. So when they realize that, they're like, oops, now we got to put our RFI. We can't do oops on people's lives. Come on. I hope the action don't happen, but it has not occurred to answer your question. I'm hoping everybody's willing to listen. You know, some of those conversations I held privately. Some people believe in it, but I'm not going to say those names. And you can just hope they're working behind the scenes to have this mayor ear as other people outside of this council and outside City Hall has his ear. And my response is that we take money from we take money from private people all the time to help with our community. Even when we talk about putting our kids to work in terms of One Summer Chicago, there's a lot of companies that invest in that, and so it's not just, and that's been over the years. So that when people talk like that, just like I think a comment was made when, and he still owe us an apology, myself, Reverend Flager, and the family, when he said we was doing this for political gain at the death of Miss Sierra. For political gain? So when you make that comment, come up and tell me what I'm gaining. Come up and tell me what Reverend Flager gaining. Because if I'm supposed to be gaining something, somebody's shortchanging me. If I'm supposed to be gaining something, somebody shortchanging me. Thank you so much. Will you say what? I think every community needed. That's why Elmwood Park even just purchased it, because just outside of Elmwood Park, we got rid of it, and so they purchased it and they needed it. So it's not just a black and white issue; it's a crime issue in which crime is happening everywhere, and we need that technology throughout this city. Thank you so much.